We've got an interesting new legal case this morning. A woman is suing SoulCycle after taking just one spin class, claiming her instructor was too hard on her and she landed in the hospital. Let's bring in our legal panel. Joining me now, Ebony Williams, who is an attorney and a Fox News contributor. We have Philip Holloway. He's a criminal defense attorney and a former police officer. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Ebony, I'll start with you. So this is Kayla Cashman. She said she went to SoulCycle for the very first time. She had never done it before. And the instructor knew it was her first time, but kept coming over and making the bicycle harder, cranking it harder, making it more strenuous, and caused this condition which causes your muscle tissue to break down. What do you think?
Well, Melissa, anyone who's ever gone to a SoulCycle class, that includes me. I was a bit of a freak for a second there, but I weaned myself off of it. That's kind of the SoulCycle way, right? It's this kind of intense motivation. That's a signature format and style. I'm sure Philip will agree. This is kind of a basic, negligence claim, and it all comes down to what duty did SoulCycle have to these patrons, and did they indeed breach that duty? And I think when you look at this from a legal component, I don't see a strong case, Melissa, because, it's really one of those things where reasonableness, the reasonableness of the expectation of this plaintiff here to have a, instructor kind of guide you step by step through it in a way that most people figure out on their own. I think it's a bit of a high bar.
Philip, the condition she has, which I won't even try to pronounce, is a permanent condition that results in your muscle tissue breaking down. That can cause kidney failure, by the way, and I did some research on it. It's usually caused by being struck by lightning, bitten by a venomous snake. It can happen when your body is crushed, either through an auto accident or a building collapses on you. How is she going to prove that she got that serious of a condition from 45 minutes of cycling?
Well, good morning, Melissa. Good morning to Ebony. And as usual, it's very difficult for me to disagree with my friend Ebony. I think this lawsuit is going about as far as that stationary bike went, because there's issues such as a voluntary assumption of a known risk. I have read their online waiver of liability, and it says, look, this can cause catastrophic damage. So, and you have to sign basically saying that you understand that. And look, let's face it, at the end of the day, she could have simply stopped pedaling if she felt like things were getting out of control. There's also the issue of contributory negligence. Even if she can get past the bar and prove that somehow SoulCycle was negligent, there's the issue of whether or not the plaintiff also bears some degree of responsibility. So she has a lot to get past. But if she could, hypothetically, and I don't think she can, she has to prove damages. And that's where this serious medical condition comes in. And if she's injured as badly as is reported to be, the damages could be quite high, but I just don't see them getting there.
Ebony, they always say, I always hear lawyers say, and I don't know if it's true, I'm not a lawyer, you can't sign away your rights, that they can't give you, sort of a release and you sign away, what is unreasonable. And also at the same time, I would say, trying to be on SoulCycle's side here a little bit, that they may want to just get rid of this because it's bad PR and it's not the first time they've been sued. There was another woman who is suing because she said she broke her ankle on the bike, and she claims she tried to talk to one of the instructors and the instructor said, we don't do breaks. That's the whole thing, is they try and kind of pump you up to get through it. So it's not totally unprecedented, and they may just want to stop the PR. What do you think of my arguments? Terrible?
I think it's, no, not at all. You should sign up for your first year, Melissa.
Okay.
It's, no, look, you're exactly right. That was the LA case you're referencing, and that kind of settled, I think, for around $100,000. Not a high settlement there, but because of your point, ultimately, by the time you pay litigators to hash this thing out for months or years, it is easier to settle. But there was also a New York case, and that was dismissed outright on its merits. It's interesting, though, all of these cases against SoulCycle only erupted when SoulCycle was sold to Equinox, which is kind of what we call deep pockets, back in 2011. So I think, Phil and I kind of got to raise an eyebrow at that.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks to both of you. Love it. John.
Thanks.